Welcome to Chamber Chats, a weekly series by the West Monroe West Ouachita Chamber of Commerce highlighting our valued members. As always, find out more about the Chamber and our members online at westmonroechamber.org. Special thanks to our Season 2 title sponsor, Ouachita Valley Federal Credit Union. And now, this week's episode of Chamber Chats.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Chamber Chats, filmed live here at the West Monroe Chamber office. I'm so excited to have my good friend and our neighbor just down the road in downtown West Monroe, Tracy with JACs. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we have a lot to cover and a little bit of time, and I'm not going to harass you about meatballs anymore.
That's coming.
That's coming. But for a moment, can we go back in time? I don't think a lot of people know the journey y'all have been on the last couple. Is it okay? Can we go back?
Oh, absolutely.
So go back. You were working, and then you had a calling, and we had the food truck. So tell us the birth of the food truck for a second.
Okay, so first let me go back just a little bit further than that. We were a sauce and seasoning company.
I remember, yeah.
We started that in 2005, which next year will be our 20th anniversary of the JAC's brand. And our 5th year at JAC's Craft Smokehouse. So it's going to be one heck of a blowout.
All right.
So anyway.
We're filing that anniversary with.
Okay. So anyway, we were doing that, and I was working at CenturyLink. Christy was working at CenturyLink. We both took promotions, and we had to kind of put the sauce and seasoning business on hold.
Right.
I just kept feeling a drawing, we had several natural disasters come through our area, and I felt like God was calling me to do more.
That's right.
And so I got a food truck.
Yeah.
And I did the food truck a little bit on the side too, but mostly it was for a ministry. And we'd go out, and whatever I made, I put back into it just for the ministry purposes. I was doing a feeding when the tornado came through.
Yep.
And
the Easter tornado.
Yes, the Easter tornado. And I just felt peace. And I said, God, I know you want me to do more, but dang, I make a good living.
That's right.
I make a really good living.
And restaurant's hard.
It is. And I said, so if you want me to do more, you got to make a way. Yeah. So I got a pink slip 3 weeks later, and I said, okay. And then the great wonders of God, 10 years before August 4th of 2020, my wife and I had an opportunity to buy the building that JAC's is in. But we both said, we've got kids in school.
Got too much.
We got too much. They're going into college, and it was just too much.
Right.
And we said, one day, if Lord's willing, one day.
Yeah.
And so fast forward 10 years. We're driving to Hot Springs, Arkansas. I'm laid off. I'm running the food truck. I'm just doing what I feel like I'm supposed to do. Right. We get a call. Unfortunately, COVID got Miss Case.
Right.
And the building came open.
Right.
10 years to the day.
Irony.
10 years to the day, which was a blessing because Miss Case did the pieces that I wouldn't have had the money to really do.
Start the infrastructure for a kitchen.
That's right. And all that. So fast forward, and here we are.
So it's not just JAC's now. We have Back Alley Market.
Correct.
Y'all have partnered with local. And what I love about y'all is you don't just say, we believe in shopping local. You take it every level throughout your production cycle. Tell us a little bit about how you partner with community vendors.
So the big thing is the Back Alley Market was simply created because I wanted to do more with local suppliers. As the restaurant's grown, it's become a little bit harder to do that.
That's right.
On a daily basis. We do to a small degree. But I made a promise to those guys that I would do whatever I could to work with you. Right. So the Back Alley Market was born because I wanted to keep that promise.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. That's unbelievable how much joy I get in doing that.
Yeah.
It's because one, I know where stuff's coming from.
That's right.
And the second thing is that you just can't find anything better. It's you just
farm to table, it's local.
That's right.
Like that whole economy of scale is totally different, but you're supporting somebody else's dream while your dream is coming to reality.
That's correct.
It just makes my soul excited to see that kind of stuff.
We do, and I feel like God's created a path there. Don't get me wrong. There's many a days I'm like, can I find a corporate job to go back to?
It's not that it's not hard. It's just that the reward is so high.
That's exactly right, Chris.
So tell us for a second. Just recently. Everybody knows you for barbecue, but just recently you were doing seafood.
I was.
And so
I was.
I got to watch you compete in this room of probably some of the best chefs in Louisiana.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad to see you on that stage because truly your quality is up there. But tell us that whole story just real quickly and how it feels to compete in a time-limited fashion, right?
I love it. I love it. Now the dish I put up was just garbage. I mean, it tasted good, but it just wasn't pretty. I kept going back and forth on what I wanted to do. To be honest, that occasion, that night, was not more about me winning that competition. It was more about me getting our JAC's family involved.
Right.
And, apparently we had a lot of JAC's family there that night.
Did.
So, because, that was the big thing. Is I knew if I was up there, if I got a chance to be there, the JAC's family would come.
So, to set the stage, this is the Louisiana Seafood Cook-Off.
That's great.
It's a competitive thing. It has an international implication, a national implication. But you're there with the lieutenant governor, and they're judging your dish for quality, presentation, innovation, all of that kind of stuff. And there's a little secretiveness, right? You're competing with your other.
That's right.
But it's timed and live broadcast.
That's correct.
So it's almost like a Food Network show.
Absolutely.
But I was just intimidated and nervous for you, plating that many dishes, and people are counting down, trying to make you even more nervous.
Yep.
So what does that feel like in the moment? Like, I've never competed like that.
It's kind of exhilarating.
Yeah.
Because you're really...
The adrenaline is
like the adrenaline's there. The one thing I've competed in barbecue contests. I've done hot sauce contests and stuff like that. So I really, the nerves wasn't there as much. So them rattling me wasn't there. It's exhilarating for the rush at that moment. You got 15 seconds, because you push it everything to make it hot, to go down the thing, and then in our case we had one of our sopes break, and I was like, crap.
Of course it's now. Right?
It's now. So that's the one that picture was. Yeah. It's the one that broke.
And we'll post the pictures from the event in this thread, this comment
cool.
thread. So what's the next chapter, Tracy? JAC's and Back Alley Market and seasonings. Y'all been a lot of places. What's the vision that you feel like you can share? What's next?
A lot. Let me just say that. So, Chris, you've known me for a while. I don't do anything until it's the right time, right? Yep. I do see another restaurant in West Monroe's history. Yeah. I do, and it won't be a smokehouse.
Okay.
I do see that. I can't really say when it's going to be yet.
When it's right, it's right.
It's right. When the right location comes up.
That's right.
I want it to be a still, where family feels like it's family.
Yeah.
So I do see that happening soon, within the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
I know the city's been after me to open something else. Yeah. So I want.
We're after you too.
so we've really thought about taking and doing a wine and olive oil bar, downtown.
Yeah.
That may become before the restaurant comes.
Sure.
And so we'll do some charcuterie and stuff like that, there. But I'm just really waiting on God to tell me. I know that sounds cliche. It's the timing,
You've been an entrepreneur for a while.
I have.
Tell somebody that's got this idea that's haunting them in their brain, they feel like someone's speaking to them. What's your message of advice?
Research, study, learn.
Yeah.
All you can, become an expert in that piece.
Yeah.
And then don't be afraid to take that step.
Yeah.
Your only fail is when you don't take the step.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest problem. I probably should have took that step years ago.
You felt hesitancy?
I did, and I should have probably took it long before I did.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 20/20.
But it's a lot, man.
It is.
It's putting your living on the line.
It is. And know this, you don't do a business and be an entrepreneur to get rich.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, that's why I want my own financial independence. That's great.
Yeah. Kind of.
But you got to do that for a passion, or your business won't succeed.
We say all the time, Being your own boss is the worst and best boss you'll ever have.
That's right.
The most and least money you'll ever make per hour.
That's right.
And the most stress you'll ever have, and the most reward you probably can get.
That's exactly 100%.
And if you can put up
correct.
with all of that, you're ready to go.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. But don't be scared.
Yeah.
You know, if you truly have a passion for the business that you want to open,
Go.
do it. Do it. You know.
Do you think there's something special? This is my final question, but do you think there's something kind of unique about our community that spurs entrepreneurs or makes it feel a little more possible or accessible?
I do. I really feel like the West Monroe has the city has embraced small businesses. I think that they realized years ago that we're not a corporate town, and that small business is what built this. Yes, it's the backbone, and I think that that's continued through generations. You know, a lot of people don't know my parents had a shop down on Antique Alley.
Right.
You know, for years, and my sister had one. We had one, and it's always been the support of the community to help us small businesses thrive. You know, I'm a barbecue place.
Yeah.
And people love to come and support me.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't call them customers.
Yeah.
I call them family members.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think it's really cool every day to see somebody's dream and maybe live a little vicariously through you, you know, and see somebody's dream come reality, but also immediately support their neighbors and friends, both at time of need, but every single day through every individual decision that you make. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for joining us on this episode of Chamber Chats. Stay tuned for other episodes as we highlight members of the Chamber of Commerce.